everybody, Aylin Hart here. Wow, it has been a while since I filmed a video. I think the last one I filmed, I can't remember if my boyfriend was actually back in town or if he was still out of town, but it's been like a month, I think it's been, since I filmed. So basically what I've been doing is just kind of getting everything in order. You know, over the summer, things just kind of get chaotic. My house was getting pretty messy, which if anybody knows me, I'm kind of an organization freak. You know, my kids had both been gone and I had just gotten my youngest son back from an extended trip to his grandma's. I am still getting adjusted to my new job at work and I had quite a bit of writing to do, so I just took that month to just kind of get everything in order. So thank you so much for sticking around while I was doing that process. I know that my goal is to put out regular content, but it just wasn't happening for me. And if you know, brutal honesty, none of my videos would have been good. Not that they're amazing anyway, but they just wouldn't have been good. They would have been forced and rushed, and I don't want to do that. So the topic of today's video is proof copies from Amazon. Why do you want them? What do you do with them? How do you get them? All of that. So before we get into that, I do have a couple of quick announcements. The first one is that my anthology piece for the Risking Everything First Responders anthology is done. It has been beta read. It is currently in the hands of an editor. I'm so excited, and I'm really excited to say that this book is out for pre-order, and you guys, it's gonna be an amazing one. We are all so excited about this anthology. All the proceeds are going to the Sillers Foundation. If you'd like to learn more about that, you can go to tunnels2towers.org. I'll also go ahead and link it down below, but it is a great foundation that gives to the families of first responders. We could not be more proud to have selected this as the charity organization that we are giving. Every single cent that this book makes is going to that. So I think that's pretty incredible. Every story has a first responder. It's got 10 great romance authors. I can't say enough about this book. I'm going to go ahead and also link the pre-order information down below. We also have a Facebook page. If anybody would like to join that, we're doing giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff all the way up until the release date. So again, really great cause, going to be a really great book. I can say without a doubt, I'm so excited for this to come out November 5th. So be on the lookout for that. Second, I have finally started writing Crash Into Me, the book that I am so excited about. I'm going at a little bit of a slow pace right now, and I'm super okay with that. I'm just kind of getting back into my groove, but I've been writing about 500 words a night, and again, super proud of that. I have finally finished the first 5 chapters, and I went and I really cleaned them up, made them really pretty, which I normally don't do till later. But this plot is a little bit different for me, and I really wanted to get it into the hands of my beta readers and just kind of get their first reactions, see if it hooked them, see if they were interested and intrigued and dying of curiosity, and they are. They want the book like tomorrow. So this is a good thing. This pushes me to go forward, but you know, this story is really different for me. Not that it's not a romance or anything, but I think just plot-wise, yeah, I still don't want to give away too much because I feel like a lot is going to come to me as I'm writing. Again, super excited about that. I will definitely be writing a little bit all the way up until NaNoWriMo, and I hope to use NaNoWriMo to just get this baby done. I would really like to release it in January or February, so definite goal. So moving on. Proof copies of your book from Amazon. What are they? Why do you want them? How do you get them? What do you do with them? So as you can see, this is a proof copy from Amazon, not to be confused with an author copy. An author copy, oh my gosh, my hair. An author copy is something completely different. You're going to do something completely different with it. So I really just want to talk today about proof copies. So when you're uploading your paperback book to Amazon, on the very final page, before you hit publish, there's a little bar down at the bottom that says, do you want to order a proof copy? I am a huge advocate of ordering proof copies for your books, guys, and I will tell you why. The first thing you need to know about proof copies is they're always going to have that strip across the front that says not for resale. Because of that strip, you can't resell this book. Please don't try and sell copies of it. Don't take them to a book signing and try and sell them. This is a not for resale book. You are going to pay the printing cost and shipping cost. That's it. So to get physical copies of both of these books, I think I paid somewhere around $11 for the two books. That is incredible. And here's what I do with my author proof copies.
All right, so proof copies. This is one of the first proofs I ever got, and this was for How We Fall. One of the first things that I definitely noticed when I got my proof copy is that it really doesn't match the first in series. You can see, obviously, this is in color, this is in black and white. And then the layout of the cover of the book is completely different. Another thing I really noticed on this book, and I'm not even sure why I did it, was that I have these drop shadows. And while I think maybe they look okay on ebooks, I definitely on covers, this is just not, it's not a thing for me, guys. So I went ahead and I changed it out to a color, why can't I say that? A color cover. And then I definitely made the formatting of the title and my name the same. And then I lost those drop shadows. And again, I think this makes it look nicer. It looks a little more professional than that. So that was like one of the first things that I noticed. So again, you can use it for something like that. Another thing I noticed when I got this book, so I open it up, okay, my title page is correct. I do format my own books, so this is definitely something I need to look at. I have my copyright page, I have my also by page. I kind of don't like where this falls. I probably should have gone in and fixed that. But I'll tell you something I did notice. Oh, and then I accidentally left the table of contents in. Yeah, when you format your own stuff, you got to check your own shit. So everything's looking good. Here's what I noticed. This font is really tiny and hard to read. It wasn't something I noticed when it was my Word doc copy. So I went in, let's see if I can pull up the page, changed the size of my font. So much easier to read. Yeah, just easier to read. So definitely something that I noticed when I got that. That right there to me was worth it. Made sure that my headers are formatted properly. Name on one page, title of the book on another. All my footers are correct. So that's definitely something to look at when you get your proofs. Another thing to look at, these are not proof copies. Either I didn't know how to find them because I was just too dumb, because remember we said I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, or they weren't offered by Amazon at this time. So one of the things I did do was I ordered this book in matte and I ordered it in glossy. That is something I would definitely suggest to do because they both have a very different look. Matte is so nice. I think it's beautiful, but it shows fingerprints and then also it's darker. I wish I still had my proof copy of The Space Between Us because it was so dark you almost couldn't see his face. The glossy I think is beautiful. The colors just pop a little bit more. He's not quite as dark. The only thing I don't like about glossies is they do show that wear and tear, but for some reason I kind of like that. I don't know. I like a well-worn book. Just my thing. So again, you know, the cover is going to last a little bit longer and look a little bit nicer with the matte, but it is going to show fingerprints and look really dark. So definitely something, order both of them and see what your preference is and do that. Another thing I like to do with my proofs is, again, just make sure my formatting is good since I do all of this myself. Something I definitely noticed with these was that the cover was not formatted properly. My spine is too big. This is not a printing issue from Amazon. This is definitely, the spine is just too big. But again, just make sure everything kind of pops, everything looks really good, the titles pop. I want to make sure, yeah, it's just a beautiful cover. And again, make sure that these two books look like they go together. And then again, just making sure formatting is really good. It looks really nice, really happy with that. So yeah, definitely something to look at with your books is just to make sure that it looks like a real book and it looks good and everything. So yeah, that's definitely one thing to be checking when you get your proofs. Look at your formatting, look at where your pages, you know, lay out. Is your title page on the right page? Did you accidentally leave a table of contents in? You know, your dedication page, does that look nice? All of that kind of stuff. Definitely, this one got a little bit of water damage because I lent it to somebody who spilled a glass of wine. But yeah, so definitely use them for that.
So what else can you do with your proof copies? I think another great thing to do with proof copies is give them out to beta readers and give them out to your ARC readers. There's nothing like holding a book in your hands. You know, it has that strip across the front, so it's definitely not for resale. It's not like they can take it to a used bookstore and try and sell it. They probably couldn't try and sell it, you know, through their Facebook page or something. It's something that they need to hang on to. And I think it's just, I love reading in paperback form. Yes, most of my sales, in fact, I would say 99% of my sales are ebook, but you know, there's nothing like holding a paper book in your hands. And so to give your ARC readers and your beta readers a really great reading experience, you could definitely and really cost effectively give them paperback copies to read. Another great thing that I think that you can do with your paper copies, and again, this goes back to the way things read, is use them as an edit copy. Here's the thing, when you upload your paperback to Amazon, you don't have to publish it right away. So if you are still in an editing stage, you can have proofs sent to yourself and use that as an editing tool. Get out a highlighter and a red pen and sit down and read your book and edit it that way. You become so blind to your manuscript that little tiny mistakes, you will pass over them over and over and over again, and you will not pass over them when you have a paperback copy in your books. I can't tell you how many times my book has been beta read to death, proofread, edited, all this stuff. People are humans. We make mistakes. We skip over things. And, you know, when your editor gives you an edit, you don't always have to do it. So you might skip over certain things by accident or even on purpose that you think like, okay, then why did she want me to change that sentence? And then you're going to read it in paper and it's going to read completely differently. And so get out a paperback copy. You know, again, for $5-6, you can have a paper copy, sit and read it, edit it, and then go back through your manuscript and make those changes. You'd be really surprised at how many mistakes you can find when you are reading a paperback copy because you stare at your manuscript day in, day out, obsessively, and you just really become blind to certain things or to the way certain things read versus having it on paper. Even having it on a PDF, I think, having it physically just makes a huge difference. My final thought on author proof copies is this, and if you do this, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I have seen authors use their proof copies as giveaways. And to me, our readers, when we give them books, they become a treasure. And I know when I have won books from authors, I treasure that. That becomes something really special to me. And I think that if you're going to give a reader a copy, even if it's a free one, even if it's a prize, I want to give them a beautiful copy of a book. I don't want to give them something that has a big gray strip across the front that says not for resale. To me, that's just a little, I'm not trying to be rude, but it feels a little tacky to me. And for a few extra dollars, you could get author copies of your book to give as giveaways. Again, if you're someone who does this, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but to me, I would not use my proof copies as giveaways, because if I'm going to give away a book, I want someone to have something that they're going to treasure and something that's really special to them. And whatever they do with it after that is up to them. But I'm going to honor my readers and give them beautiful, clean, crisp copies of my book. Anyway, the subject that I was going to talk about today was all about beta readers and alpha readers. However, I noticed that some really big author tubers just in the last few days did videos all about beta readers. And so I didn't want to seem like I was kind of jumping on that bandwagon, but I definitely have my own thoughts and ways of using beta readers. And so I'm still going to make that video, but I'm going to make it next week. So this one was all about proof copies. I hope it was a little bit helpful to understand what a proof copy is and maybe all the ways that you can use it and how I use mine. I definitely use them to catch mistakes before they go into print. Definitely, you can catch a lot of formatting errors. I know that in other books I have caught where I have a template for my copyright page, and there was one where I just put in the template and I didn't fill it out. So I've caught that. I've caught the lettering not being a readable size. I've caught just, funky things with my formatting, maybe dividers that didn't format properly, or sometimes I like to use pictures as chapter headers, and some of them sometimes don't quite look right, or they look a little bit fuzzy. So you can catch a lot of things, I think, with those proof copies. They're really inexpensive. To me, it's just that final piece before you put your book out into the world. Make sure it is absolutely perfect. They definitely have a use. I know that when I have friends come over who've never read my books before, maybe they're not even super into romance, and so they're kind of iffy about it, I'll just give them one of my proof copies and just make sure. I think I probably have like about 3 or 4 proof copies out in the world right now, just from friends who kind of aren't maybe super into romance, but they came over to my house for one reason or another, were curious about my books, and I've definitely gained some readers that way by just handing out my proof copy. Hey, read this book, see what you think, give it back to me when you're done, and then they'll go buy the rest of my books or be like, yeah, you know what, really wasn't for me, and that's totally okay. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I'm definitely going to get back on track with making videos every single week. So again, if you liked today's video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week.